Hi, welcome back. My name is ReFabFashion. I'm a part-time reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And I love that it's part-time. I can scale up or scale down. I've been pretty busy with family and my other work commitments that I do the other part of the time. And so I've really stepped away from my reselling and from YouTube for a little while. But recently had a couple of really great thrift trips. So I want to share those with you. This one is a Goodwill just outside of Boston where I'm based. And I don't usually do very well at this Goodwill. I went in on I think it was a Monday or a Tuesday in the morning, probably about noontime by the time I was there. And I just found item after item. My average cost of goods, of everything in the trip this day, was just under $6 per item, which is on the better side for me. A lot of times I'm shopping at Savers with a coupon, but that can get pricey, or some other places that I shop that individually price their items rather than by category. So that's the great thing with Goodwill, is you kind of know by category what you're going to be charged. So I want to share everything with you. I definitely have over 20 pieces here. So I'll start with the shoes. These just looked really excellent condition. Black leather, the buckle detail, and I was surprised to see that they were Vince Camuto. You can see it was $9 there. Orange was the new color this day. I mean, they are new. They don't look worn at all. Not a mark to the leather on either boot. So Vince Camuto is not a brand I tend to pick up. There's Vince by Vince Camuto, which is the diffusion line. I would never buy any shoes from them. But Vince Camuto, and being 100% leather and basically new, these were worth picking up at the $9. They do have the style written in there, which is great. And these are an 8.5, the Virgila boot. So really happy to find these. I don't pick up a lot of boots and shoes. I prefer boots to other shoes. These can, demand a little bit more money when they're in good condition, and especially being all leather. And I basically won't have to do any work on these to buff them up or anything. This other pair caught my attention, and I first found only one. They have racks where they put some shoes above the clothing. But this is kind of a raw, it's not smooth, it's just kind of a raw wood base to it, and the strap is leather. I don't know if you could see the print inside. The brand is Nisolo, but these look to be in pretty good condition. There is some wear at the heels, which I'll note, but I didn't see any marks on the leather uppers. So I did look into this brand. It's a pretty good brand. They were asking $8 for these. This might have been the half off price. But anyway, I saw one up on the top of the rack, and I looked all the way even to the floor where there were a bunch of shoes and clothes just piled on the floor. So I looked through those, because actually people haven't been rifling through stuff that's on the floor. So it's a good place to look. But I couldn't find it. And then I went up and down the rest of the row, and thankfully I found the other shoe. So I'm excited to give this brand a try. It's not something I've seen or even heard of before, or heard anyone talk about. But it looked to be doing pretty well. I always check comps on eBay first, so if I can find something there, or the brand, like I didn't go into the style name on these, I just did leather sandal. I might have used the keyword clog, but I found other pairs, and I just did the sell-through rate. So how many listed, how many sold in the last 90 days. I didn't go as far as the color in my search, but just to get a snapshot of the brand and make a decision in the store. Again, the average cost for each of these items is under $6. This, I found a few Nili Lotan pieces. I've heard about this from another reseller. A couple of years ago, I found a sweater in a Goodwill. That's the first time I found it. And now I've even kind of searched on Poshmark for undervalued pieces from this brand to resell. I tend to find pants. I think I found that one sweater. I found and sold a couple pants. I found another item that day, but it was stained and damaged. I don't recall what the item was. This is a smaller size. This says a size 0, although that looks a little wide to me for a 0. But being white, I checked this over really, really well, and that the other piece was stained. It's a little hard to find the style. There isn't a style code on Nilly Lotan pieces, so I do a Google Lens search, but with the pants that might be a little tricky. But these seem to be a straight leg rather than a taper or a skinny. They do seem to be cropped or ankle length, but just the quality is very good, and this brand does have a following. This is a new brand. This tag caught my eye, plus the print, and I looked it up. Unfortunately, I think the hang tag did leave a little hole somewhere. It might be in this ruffle collar. So right here. So I will have to note that. I don't know if you can see that. But as it lays on here, you wouldn't tell because there's another ruffle underneath. But it's semi-sheer, floral print, an elastic cuff to kind of make a balloon type of sleeve, although it's not too dramatic. So this brand, Chufy, C-H-U-F-Y, but also there's this band that says Nile Tails. It's a size small. I have to research more, but at a first glance, again on eBay, I was doing my comp search. It looked like a worthwhile brand to pick up, but even just the print, sometimes you can just tell by the print or some of the details looking at it that it's a good brand. Okay, there are a couple of these in different colors. This is Lululemon. The hang tag's been pulled off, but the symbols on the back, they now put the symbols in the same color as the item rather than a contrast. This is a kind of boxy, wide t-shirt, long sleeve. I do believe this is women's or maybe unisex. I found a red tie-dye and a boxy long sleeve merino wool blend top, and I didn't realize that they made unisex tops, so the stock photo had both a male and female body wearing the same item, which was interesting. But I do think this is more of a women's style, being the kind of boxy look to that. So unfortunately, there's no size with the hang tag on these kinds of shirts and items. There's no size printed. Sometimes on the men's items, it's on the bottom hem. If you turn it over, you can see small, medium, large, but on the women's, they don't tend to be. So I got a couple of these, debating if they're all the same size and I have to approximate. I might just bundle all three colors together because it'll take a certain buyer to feel confident to get a size based on measures that doesn't have an exact size with it. This is a Talbot's. It was dry clean, so it has that tag, but this is a Talbot's blazer, size 12. It's kind of a teal, light blue with a brown plaid. I guess kind of basic, but I like it. It has the academic feel or an equestrian feel. I'll use those two words. Gold buttons, 2-button front here. And pockets, size 12, so a better size. I'm often finding petites, which I'll also consider picking up, but this is wool or a wool blend. Yeah, a wool blend. Dry clean only, but it looks newer. I'm not exactly sure if this is what they call the cut date, which is when they take items off of the store shelves, but it looks like it says 6/22, so I think that means this was from last spring, perhaps with a cut date of June 22. Talbot's blazers, I tend to list at about 50 and take offers from there. So at the lowest, I've sold them for 30, but I like to get 35 or 40. This was on the rack. At this Goodwill, you're not supposed to shop the racks. They yell at you if they catch you, so I kind of went quickly by. I saw, what did I see on this? I think I might have seen the tag. So this is a smart wool piece. And really anything in smart wool, I like to pick up. If it's 100% wool and has a hole or multiple holes, I like to pick it up, and those sell as well. This is a men's size large sweater. This is not entirely wool, but I did not find any holes. This is polyester, 30% merino wool and nylon. And I don't know if they put a style code in here. Yep, it looks like they do. So this is from fall of 2020. And there should be that SW code on the top should be the style code. Or this would be easy to Google Lens and figure out. But strong brand, good size, large, kind of a basic there. I do like to buy sweaters and list sweaters all year long, and just sold a couple sweaters last week on Poshmark, so people are buying sweaters all year, and they usually, you know, earn more money than tank tops, shorts, t-shirts. I really don't shop the blouses or tops too often. I look at the long sleeves and jackets, blazers, sweaters. I prefer those. This is a Free People piece. It's a size medium, which is a good size in Free People. It's kind of an oversized boucle. No, not boucle. What is it? Maybe a popcorn, mini popcorn textured sweater with a big oversized sleeve, of course, and boxy look, but kind of a cropped length or just not a long length, open with a button front. So although this at first glance might look like it's worn, that's the style of it, the material throughout. And it's cotton and synthetic, but Free People, Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie are now all putting the OB number, which is the style number. That's always come along with Free People, but I think I've seen the Anthropologie items also having that now. They're all owned by the same parent company. So kind of plain. I didn't look up the style specifically, just decided to go for it. Here's another one of the Lululemon shirts. This one's got a space dye pattern. That's when there's that kind of zigzag look to the dye, but it's the exact same style with the seaming in the back and the boxy fit. This is from the men's section, a polo. This is navy blue or almost black. It's a little hard to tell, but this is a great brand that I like to pick up. Billy Reed. I've even sold this with a hole in it, a pink polo. I found this exact polo a few times, I must say. I think that's all I found thrifting. Interesting stitching on the chest pocket there, but a great quality brand. This is a men's size medium, and that should sell for at least $30. And the third Lululemon shirt, again, exact same style, but in black. Lululemon's been a little harder to sell lately in terms of the demand of the price point. I really try to get the newer sizes, but I think because I found all three and the material feels like a newer one that I've purchased for myself there last year. So my plan is to bundle them all together, as I said. This one I didn't look up, and I'm not sure if this is a fast fashion brand or not. Naked, N-A-K-D. But I didn't look it up. In part, the style is what I went for. So kind of the 70s look is in. So kind of this thin ribbed, kind of long pointed collar, V-neck. It is a button front, so you might say it's a cardigan, but this is kind of more of the 70s style. Long sleeve. Again, this might not be a summer seller, but I think will do well come the fall, which really begins in August. Hugo Boss, this doesn't demand a lot of money for what it sells for, but these are a pair of men's pants. They're a navy blue with this kind of cross window, it's almost a micro window pane, check plaid. But what I do like about Hugo Boss is these tags have all the sizing that you need, and they have the style name. So it's usually back here. There's some codes, and then that's usually the style name written there in the text. So this is a US 34 length, and this is cotton, polyester, viscose, and some elastane. A nice pair of pants, casual. I like to pick up blazers in Hugo Boss. If it's women's, I would get a dress, probably not a plain one, and it would have to be wool. But some workwear items I would consider getting. These are more of a casual pant. I would stay away from the Hugo Boss orange, which is an older tag and kind of the streetwear line. So we'll see how these do. Probably 30. I'd hope to get 40. I might list these close to 50 or 45 and take an offer. This I like to pick up. These sell for me on Mercari, usually really fast, not for a ton, but offline by Aerie. The leggings, I only get the ones that have the cross waist. These are a size XXL, and they're a faux leather look. They look to be a 7/8 length, so going right down to the ankle, but not a full length. And high rise. Let's see, this doesn't have a lot of details on the label, but new with tags, this should do well. I don't make a lot of money. I list them on all 3 platforms. I cross list with Vendu, which is really convenient to do that and keep track. When you sell something, it automatically takes it off the other sites, so it's really easy. But as I said, most of my airy leggings sell on Mercari pretty quickly for $15, usually used. I don't know that I've ever found a new pair, so I'm interested about that, and the bigger size. So I might get away with 20 to 25 on that. Let's see, these are another Lululemon piece. I'm not sure how I was finding so much there. This does have the pull tag. These are men's pants, size 36. It's a little hard to tell if this is a dark gray or a navy blue, because they do have a blue that's almost black looking. But these are a kind of work casual pant, not athletic. I'm not really great with the style names. I go to Lulu Fanatics for all of my details about all the styles and everything. But the size dot with the code is usually in the pocket. I think on the men's it's in the back pocket. Yep. So in the back pocket, it has the size again, so if the hang tag is gone. And then the numbers around, this means it's a very new piece with so many numbers and letters. And the code for a men's item will start with an M. For women's, it starts with a W, and it's 6 digits total. So this is style M5AD9S. So I'll have to look up what it is, but 36 is a great size. No wear. Sometimes I found pants where the back pocket has like a wallet indent, or the front pocket shows the cell phone imprint, which have still sold for me, not as much profit, but those seem to be a newer piece and should do well for me. Okay, this is a brand I don't usually pick up, but it's so substantial, this piece. So this is Vince, and it's an open but very heavy cardigan, very long, has fringe, long sleeve, pockets, leather trim, I believe that's real leather, and just very heavy weight, so almost like a sweater shawl. Size medium, 90% wool and 10% nylon, great material. There is a style code on Vince items if you have the materials tag, so you should be able to look that up. I sold a 2-piece suit that was new with tags. I found that at a Savers. It must have just come out, and that sold very well for me. I found a new with tag silk midi skirt that was, I think I said new with tag, and that sold very well. But a lot of Vince pieces just don't sell. They make a lot of basics, a lot of plain, so I tend to stay away from that. So I'm hoping that this is very appealing. You know, could be better with a bigger size, but just the heft of this and as many details going on, I'm just hopeful that this will do well. Again, I paid just under $6, so my concern with that is not how much I can ask for it, but how quickly and kind of if it will sell. Will it sit for a couple of years, or will somebody want to snatch that up? It'll help if it's a newer style. This was an interesting piece. This is a tennis dress, navy blue, or maybe a golf dress with the pleated skirt. It has kind of a built-in bra with some padded cups. It has these very nice kind of hidden zip pockets here, but just the details of the pleating, the feel of the material. There are no shorts underneath, but yeah, the built-in shelf bra with the cups, and then the detail at the neck. I cannot find a brand. I cannot find a tag. It just felt very nice quality. So I want to do a little more research to see if I can figure anything out about this. If not, I may try to keep it for myself when I play tennis. But it was just very well made. Yeah, I'll have to really inspect this over to see if I can find any sign of a logo or a mark, or maybe a tag that's just in somewhere that I didn't find when I was looking quickly. Blazer, I like to pick up jackets and blazers. They have to be kind of certain styles. So this has the gold buttons. It's navy blue, looks black. 3-button cuff, 2-button front. I don't like to get the 3 button fronts, so I do 2. Usually don't see any 1 unless it's a women's item. I believe this is a boys. So Lord & Taylor boys. So Lord & Taylor, department store. 16 regular, so a larger boys size, which means you can usually ask for a little more money for these. And this is 60% wool and 40% polyester. Extra buttons in the pocket. So I do like to get older boys blazers, especially if they're the navy blue. A lot of prep schools require these, or other clubs, graduations, weddings. People are on the lookout for this to buy, and like to buy them used, because if they're boys, they're growing, and so people don't want to spend a lot of money on a nice new one, knowing that by next season or next year they're going to grow out of it and need to get a new one. So it was probably only worn once or twice, if at all. This, a little off season here. This is a quilted mini skirt, a heavier material, and this is by Farm Rio, which I have bought and sold dresses, usually new with tags. Usually I can get them at a price point that I can flip them and still make a good profit. The new with tags elaborate dresses by Farm Rio, I've been able to get pretty much close to asking price, like the price on the tag. So this is interesting. I didn't look up the exact style, but looked to be in good condition. Looking for the fabric content here. 100% cotton for the outside, and the lining is also cotton. And it feels like there's some batting in the middle. So I'm interested to see what this will get me. Again, probably this will be a fall, winter item. It's a little bit more muted colors, which makes me think more for fall time. But interested and excited to find that. I don't know that I've found it thrifting. Usually I've gotten the dresses on retail arbitrage. There was one where I was in an Anthropologie store shopping the sale rack and looking through just to see if anything was marked down enough to try to sell it. The store I was in also has a Beholden bridal shop, so sometimes they put bridesmaids gowns there, and those can be, pretty good for resale if they're new. And the store clerk walked up next to me and asked me what size I was looking at, and if I took a size like medium or large, or forget what it was. And she was bringing over a Farm Rio dress, and she said that the person returned this with the tags like a year after they bought it, and so the store had to price it at $19.99. So I got a brand new with tags Farm Rio dress for $19.99 from the sale rack at Anthropologie, and I sold that for pretty much what the tag said. So that was not a thrift pickup. That was luck, pure luck. This is a brand I don't know. This is a drop sleeve, 3/4 boxy, kind of see-through, open knit. Wouldn't call that crochet, but a sweater. The tag looked interesting. It's just tacked on the 4/4, so Demi Lee, New York, size small, 100% cotton. It's kind of a brown red, like a rust taupe color. So the brand seemed to look good when I looked it up on eBay. Not sure how this sweater in particular will do. I wouldn't say that that's a necessarily trendy sweater, but if the brand tends to do well and that fits the aesthetic, that will do well. This is a jacket, new with tags, and this is a Golf brand. So it's a half sleeve jacket, which I assume golfers like for the mobility. And as you can see there, it's made with Gore-Tex, which is the real kind of a factor here. New with tags is great. So Gore-Tex, you can find it in boots, in raincoats. Usually the nicer brands use this. It's a waterproof material. The brand is called Zero Restriction, which I think is the Golf brand. I have another jacket that I bought used that's listed that I have not sold. This is a size large. So I'm not sure how the half sleeve is going to do, how in demand that is. But with the new with tags and a good size, I'm hoping that that will do well. The other one that I have is blue. I gave it a good wash. The sleeves, it's full sleeve, but they zip off, so you could wear it as a vest or have the sleeves attached. And that also has the Gore-Tex in it, but I don't have much interest in that. So I'll probably not pick up any more of this brand until I sell one of them. Okay, the last item from this Goodwill trip. I debated putting this back, but I think I was having a good shopping trip here. So I'm gonna give this a chance. Eddie Bauer, this Travex is the more kind of active or rugged wear it line. These are 34-32 men's pants, navy blue. Usually when I get hiking pants, I like them to be convertible with the zip off to turn into shorts. But these are just in really great condition, a decent size, and this Travex line. I'm not going to make a lot with these, but I'm hoping they'll be a quick seller. And this, let's see, this is a little bit older, from 2016. And kind of a nylon pant is another way to describe them, but I'll use hiking pant, outdoor, nylon. So again, this may not be quick. I'm not doing too great with my Eddie Bauer. I probably should have put this one back, but they just seem to be in really great shape and barely worn, and an okay size. So that's everything. So as you can see, you know, I went in there, there's tons of racks of tank tops and all the summer things, but I kept my eye out for, well, I went to the jackets and blazers section first in this Goodwill. I like to start there. And then I went through the sweaters, found some good things. That quilted skirt was just kind of at the end of a rack. It was a new color tag, so just put out. And then the shoes, as I said, those are sprinkled in around the tops of the rack, so it's really easy to kind of go through your section and also check out the shoes right on top. And yeah, getting kind of boots when people aren't really shopping for those. Good time of year to get all the winter stuff. I really shop for it and list it all year long, and prefer the jackets, blazers, coats, sweaters, pants. I actually like to shop for pants. A lot of people don't like the pants section. I don't particularly love it, especially the dark pants. It's a lot to flip through, but I found some really good, like the Nilly Lotan pants. I found some really great brands. I found luxury. I found a pair of Gucci pants at Savers one day. So, you know, black pants, they're just right in there amongst everything else. So it's a little bit of a pain to look through, not as exciting, but you can have some good finds that other people aren't, you know, going and being drawn to. So I hope that's helpful to you. Goodwill did pretty good for me this day. I'm happy to have some new things to list. As I said, I've been kind of away from thrifting and listing, so my sales have really dropped. And you know, I run a couple deep discount markdowns in my closets when I'm a little bit slower. It hasn't really produced too much for me lately. So the other thing to do is to start listing again and be more active on the platforms and just get more on. That's the way forward into more sales and more profits. So hope this was entertaining and helpful to you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.